What's going on, everybody? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We have an action-packed show for all of the real ones out there. We're going to talk about Paul George as reports are coming out that the Clippers offered a trade to the New York Knicks for Paul George, and it sounds like Leon Rose and crew said no deal. Then at the tail end of the show, we're going to talk about Bryce James, son of LeBron James, because the New York Knicks sent scouting personnel to the Peach Jam to scout the 16-year-old LeBron James. We're going to get into all of that in a second. But first, I got to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because we have been absolutely crushing it here at Chat Sports during NBA free agency and specifically New York Knicks Now. We've been putting out 2 videos every single day for the past week now, and we are not going to slow down. So if you want Knicks videos every single day for free on the latest news and rumors, hit that big red sub button and join the squad. So this was the reported trade offer from ESPN. It was Paul George for R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, and 3 first-round picks. I wish there was a little bit more context here on the 3 first-round picks. This report comes from ESPN. They didn't mention if they were protected or unprotected. I'm going to assume that maybe 2 of them were unprotected and 1 was protected. It's a whole lot. Barrett, Grimes, Fournier, you get the $18 million in Fournier to match the salary, but you get Paul George, a really good basketball player. Would you do this deal? Sounds like Leon Rose declined this deal, but if you were the general manager, head honcho decision maker for the New York Knicks, would you make the deal? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. For me, when I look at that deal, it's just too much. The New York Knicks are giving up too many picks and too many young, promising players. If you watch the show, you know that I am critical of R.J. Barrett, but I like R.J. Barrett. But at the end of the day, I can't include him and Quentin Grimes and 3 protected or unprotected first-round picks for a 33-year-old Paul George. Reason I can't give up on R.J. Barrett is because he's 23 years old, averaged 20 points per game for pretty much the 3rd season in a row, and he was efficient from the field at 44%. The 3-point shot took a step back. I thought that he took a step back at doing all of the little things as well. Assist at just 2.8. I felt like this was his worst defensive season in the NBA. But what I saw him do in the playoffs is what really kind of makes me want to believe even more in RJ. He played in the playoffs. He played well, but he had an 8-game stretch. When you take out game 1 and game 2 against Cleveland and game 6 against the Miami Heat, there's an 8-game stretch right there for RJ where he shot 49% from the field, 38% from the deck, and averaged 22.5 points per game. So in this situation, I would not include RJ Barrett in a trade for Paul George. He's 10 years younger, and I feel like he's going to continue to be better and better. I've put him in a lot of trades before, but I do always say that I think he's going to be a productive player in this league. But the main reason I'm not doing this trade is because of Quentin Grimes. I can't give up on QG, one of the best young 3-and-D players in this league. And that's not all he brings to this game is 3-and-D. He's got some point guard skills. He can create a little bit. We've seen him get going in the fast break before, but just the efficiency and the upward trajectory that he's shown in his first 2 years, 47% from the field and 39% from downtown, is just too good for me to give up on right now. And the fact that when Quentin Grimes shoots more than 10 shots per game in a game, which he did just 25 times this year, he has great stats, and it's not like 10 shots a game is a lot. 17.8 points per game when the guy gets up at least 10 looks at the basket, and he shoots 41% in those ball games from downtown. With more usage equals more success from young Quentin Grimes. I just can't let go of him and R.J. Barrett for a 33-year-old Paul George. This is what Alan Hahn of ESPN, former Knicks Fix Facebook GOAT, shout out to Mr. Hahn. He said this on PG on the Bart and Hahn radio show. He said they had a chance, being the Knicks, to get Paul George. They said it was too expensive. They don't want to do it. They've already backed out of that. They talked to the Clippers. The Clippers gave what it would cost. Then Paul George said, but I want a contract extension. And they said, the Knicks, we are not doing that. And the Knicks walked away. So Paul George, as far as now goes, it is off the table. And I got to give a big round of a hand to Leon Rose, Worldwide West, Gerson Rosas, and the Knicks front office. That was a smart trade to pass up on. But I do want to say Were the Knicks going to make that trade if a contract extension was not a part of it? Because it sounds like it was also going to have to be part of the deal for the Clippers to ship him out east. So I don't want to give him – I'll give him 2 claps instead of 3 claps because I feel like they would have done that deal if the contract extension was not part of it, and I wouldn't have done that deal even if he didn't want one. But the risk with Paul George, it's huge, and for a lot of different reasons. The main reasons that I am out on a Paul George trade is he's 33 years old. His best days are behind him. He is past and out of his prime. Still a really good player. A great defender. He can play make. He can shoot from the outside. He can create for himself, and he's an all-world defender. But when you're 33 and you've played in less than 62% of games in the last 4 years, and then on top of that, you want a long-term contract extension when you still are under contract through 2024 and 2025 when you have a player option, it's just too much for the New York Knicks. But when you take all of this out of it, when you take the age, the injuries, the contract extension, and you're strictly talking hoops, you're strictly talking about what's going down on the hardwood, we have to admit, a Paul George fit with the New York Knicks would absolutely be perfect on the floor. He can defend the other team's best offensive player. He knocks down the three-point shot. And he is a playmaker, a 6'9" wing. That's what the New York Knicks need. It just stinks that he's 33 years old and he's always injured because even this past year, he gave you 24 points per night, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, great efficiency, and he's been doing that throughout his entire NBA career. And I can't help but think about what a potential Knicks big three could do and achieve in the Eastern Conference if it was Jalen Brunson at the 1, Paul George at the 3, Julius Randle at the 4. I know we're all not the biggest Randle fans, but this would make Randle your third option. It would give the Knicks another playmaker at that wing spot. It would get you the length that everybody wants at that small forward position. I think a big three of these guys could win the Eastern Conference, but it sounds like the deal is dead and no PG-13 movies are going to be happening at Madison Square Garden. But do you want Paul George on the Knicks? It may sound like the trade is dead, but maybe that was just the first trade offer from the Clippers to the Knicks. Maybe they revisit those in a couple of weeks. Do you want Paul George wearing the orange and blue in New York? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We're going to talk about Bryce James coming up in a quick second. But first, I got to let you guys know about this awesome offer we have going on with our brand new Knicks Now Black Real One t-shirt, as well as our blue one. When you go to chatsports.com/realknicks, that's chatsports.com/realknicks, and use the promo code SummerVibes20, you're going to get 20% off. You can get the OG blue one. You can get the new school black one. I'll put this link and the promo code in the comments section. Take advantage of the deal today. 1, deal's not going to last forever. And 2, you don't want to be the last person to get your shirt, especially when it's 20% off. Chatsports.com/realknicks. Bryce James, the 16-year-old son of LeBron James, according to some rumors out there and some news bits, I think it was from Bleacher Report actually, the Knicks were one of 7 teams that sent scouting representatives to the Peach Jam over the weekend to scout the 16-year-old Bryce James. Man, oh man, what a time we are living in when we are scouting the sons of LeBron James. And for good reason. I think Bryce James may be the best of the LeBron James sons when you're comparing Bryce to Bronny James. I mean, when you think about how tall and athletic this kid already is, at 15 years old, Bryce James is 6'6". At that age, LeBron was 6'5". Bronny was 6'2". And I went and watched some Peach Jam highlights, and he's a player, man. He can put it on the deck. He can get to the cup. He's long and lanky, as you can see it. I saw him knocking in some threes from downtown. He was smooth. He got a handle. He was impressive. He may be the best LeBron James son. He's only really got to beat out one of them. I don't know if he'll ever be better than LeBron James. That's a tough tale to ask, but, man, this kid is going to be special. And if he's a New York Knick one day, I'm not going to be mad about it. I do want to ask you guys this question, though, to close out today's video. Who will be the better James son? Is it Bronny James? Is it Bryce James? Type LBJ because he is LeBron James Jr. or BJ for Bryce James. Let me know who you're rolling with down below. And as always, I thank you guys and appreciate you. We'll get another video out on the channel in a couple of hours.